Your body, your mind, your thoughts, and your emotions are all tools that help you get what you want out of life. Why do I say this? Well, let's think about an animal. An animal has mostly its body, its physiology to help it get what it wants and needs to survive. It does have a mind, obviously, and we as human beings study animals and we're still not very clear on how much of a mind they have. We think some animals are smarter than others. We think some are more primitive or more basic, depending on what they do and how they interact. Well, basically, how they interact with us. So we're very biased when it comes to that. So they have mostly a body, but they also have a mind. Do they have thoughts? Probably. But again, at what level? I would compare that, again, comparing it to a human being. It's probably not on the level that we can, compute and think about things and have complex reasoning about stuff. And we see this because, we can put them in cages and we can do these things and they pretty much follow along with what we do if we're in charge. So they have thoughts, probably on a low level. Do they have emotions? Probably as well, but again, on a low level. So mainly for an animal, they have their body. Now, if you think about us as human beings, we have our body, our brain, our thoughts, our emotions, but nowadays, our body isn't as crucial to our success in life. I mean, some people don't use their body at all. They sit at a computer, they barely move their fingers, they barely move their body at all, and they're able to be successful. We don't have to toil as much with physical labor to get what we want. I can put in an order and food can get delivered to me. So survival isn't dictated by my physical prowess as much as it was in the past. Now, I'm a personal trainer and I still think it's important to have physical strength, especially as you get older, because your quality of life will diminish if you can't do some of these basic things like walking, sitting, standing, all that kind of stuff. But it's not a requirement for you to be successful, to make money, to have a legacy, to do all of these different things that we want to do in our lives. So how does this concept apply to getting what you want? Because that's what I started off with. These things are tools to get what you want. Well, if we're not so focused and dependent on our physical body now, our thoughts, our brain, our mind, our thoughts, and our emotions are all tools that have been given to us on a high level to be able to get what we want. Now let me explain. Your mind has this computing power. It can think, it can rationalize, it can reason, it can deduct, it can do all of these different things. And that is something that, again, compared to animals, is on such a higher level that we often take it for granted. Our thoughts, another thing that we can actually sit down and think and have a thought. We can talk to ourselves in our own mind. We can write stuff down and get our thoughts out of our head and then look at those thoughts again and hash them out and really get down to the bottom of things. We have these tools hardwired in us. And now, whether you're the smartest person on the planet or one of the dumbest people on the planet, you still have those powers. Now, it might not be equal, all right? If you're really, really, really intelligent, you might have a better rationale, you might have a better reasoning capacity, problem-solving capability. But I believe that, again, if you're going to compare yourself to an animal who, let's just talk about animals, they're able to get what they want and need for survival. If you really think about it, an ant can be born and it can survive. Maybe not as long as a human being, but they all have their own life cycles. A fox in the wild, a snake in the wild, a spider in the wild. We see these things and we might have, with our technology and with our land, landscaping and building houses and things like that, we've invaded a lot of these species. But if you think back to the wild, with their primitive mind, with their primitive thoughts, with their primitive emotions, just with their physical body, they've been able to get what they need to survive. So now with us humans, we have, again, we don't have the need so much with our physical body. It can help, it's a tool to get what we want, but we have this massive brain, all this reasoning power. We have the ability to think thoughts and write them down and analyze them. We also have emotions. I haven't even got to emotions, but we'll save that for the end. But we have this capacity to use these things. And a lot of times we sit there and we say, I need more. I need this. I need extra. I need money to get what I want. I need a supportive structure around me to get what I want. I need fill in the blank. And I think that we're selling ourselves short because we've come standard with a set of tools that is designed to help you. Now let's think about, again, the animal with the body. It has its tools to get what it wants. It has a set of claws to dig. It has a set of jaws to bite and crunch. It has a stinger, or it has a poison. It has these survival mechanisms built in. You, as a human being, don't need any of those things, but you have your mind, your thoughts, and your emotions. And your emotions, let's touch on that real quick. We often think that our emotions are kind of getting in the way of our success, but I think they're almost like a sixth sense. We tend to get overly emotional. If I said to you, oh, you're being emotional about this, we kind of take that negatively. But think about what emotions are. They're like they really are like a sixth sense where you can feel what's going on. I say listen to those emotions. Obviously, try not to get over emotional, overreacting, too angry, too sad, too happy, right? Those things can skew your, point of view. But when you have an emotion that's trying to tell you something, and if you listen to it, it will help guide you on what you need to do in that moment, how you need to react to someone else, what you need to do in a certain situation, if you need to leave, if you need to stay, if you need to do whatever. So emotions, if we don't take them overboard, are a great tool. And I think that our emotional capacity far outreaches any other being on this planet, any other animal. Think about what our emotions have done for us in regard to being social. If I really care for someone, I can go into danger and try to help them. Whereas animals, unless if it's their own kin, unless if it's their own child, sometimes even if it is their own child, they're not going to go into dangerous situations and risk their own life. That's not logical. That's against their own survival. Whereas a human being can literally be a volunteer firefighter and go running towards fire to save a building, to save a human being, to save a dog or a cat or an animal. Literally, people do that all the time. And so our emotions of caring, of empathy, of love, those things can help us do things that are amazing, that defy logic, and again, they allow us to do these incredible things. So emotions, when used in the right way, are like a sixth sense, and they can transform social situations, they can transform lives, they can do powerful things. So again, if you're too emotional, negatively, right, or positive, if it's overwhelming, that's not good. We want to harness our emotions and listen to them, just like listening to your thoughts, just like using your brain in a much more controlled fashion. This is why I think meditation and breathing exercises are so powerful, because it allows you to start to take a step back and realize that, again, you are not your body, you are not your mind, you are not your thoughts, you are not your emotions. There's something deeper to you, and you can use all of those things as a tool to help get you what you want. So we have all of these different things. Compared to animals, we're able to override a lot of these natural inclinations to run or hide or do whatever. We can use our thoughts and use our mind and use our emotions to say, no, I want to do this instead. But here's where we as human beings today especially start to interrupt the process. we start to, again, get too emotional. We start to get in our head too much. We think too much. We have too many thoughts. And we don't just let ourselves do and be what we need to get what we want. Like I said, all of these things come standard with us as a human being, but we can get in our own head and we can think, oh, like I said, oh, I need this support system, I need a better husband, I need a better wife, I need a better parent, I need easier children, I need more money, I need this, I need that. I can't do it on my own. Well, there is truth to some of that, but I think that we're selling ourselves short. When you realize, again, an ant, a snake, an insect, those things can come out with primitive minds, primitive thoughts, primitive emotions. Maybe they don't even have thoughts. Maybe they're all just knee-jerk responses that are just going around almost like a computer program. But yet they can survive. And you see them all the time. We've interrupted a lot of their lives by what I've talked about, by building homes and landscaping and cities and all these stuff. But they're still around. They're still able to survive even with all of these challenges that we're presenting. So if they can survive, what's your excuse? I think one of the things that happens is we get in our own way. We get overwhelmed. We get too emotional. We get too much in our own head. We think too much. Instead of taking a step back, again, meditation is so powerful because it allows you to take that step back, breathe, relax, connect to something deeper, and then say, I have all these amazing tools at my fingertips. Fingertips are an amazing tool themselves. Like I said, typing on a keyboard, touching someone, grabbing something, making something. We have these tools, body, mind, thoughts, emotions. Use them to your advantage. Don't get in your own way. Don't interrupt the process. Just be. You're a human being, not a human doing. So, all of those things are incredible tools. They come standard with you. You don't have to be a super genius to use your brain, your thoughts, to be able to create something or to create an idea. You just have to, again, let that process happen. I think we're getting in our own way. We're overstimulating, maybe with YouTube videos. I hope that this is something that helps and not hurts, but I am guilty myself of using way too much stimulation, way too many things that come in and have me thinking and get me going from here to there to here to there and up and down. And it's like, well, what do I really want? Well, if I'm influenced all the time by all these different thoughts and all these different ideas and all these different things, it's going to be hard for me to choose. It's going to be hard for me to act and go out. And then I'm going to come up with these excuses. So there might be legitimate excuses, don't get me wrong, but I say the majority of the time, we're getting in our own way. So take a chance. I made a video on how to meditate. You can watch that video. It's very, very simple. You just basically sit down, breathe, and observe your breath. It's coming in, it's coming out. You're taking that time to separate yourself from your body. You're observing your body. Then you can observe your thoughts. Then you can observe your emotions. And as you get better at this throughout the day, even when you're not sitting down to meditate, you can then catch yourself. Oh my God, why was I thinking that thought? Why was I angry in that situation? Why was I not breathing in this situation? And you start to gain control over your body, control over your mind, your thoughts, your emotions. And then you can start to steer them in the right direction. It doesn't mean that you're going to all of a sudden become a robot, but you're going to be able to steer that ship, again, where you want it to go. Because I'm guessing you want something good for your life. But you're not just doing it selfishly for yourself. You want to do good for yourself because you know that that's going to do good for people around you. If you have a family or if you have friends or if you have that, it's not just all about you. We're social creatures. And I'm sure that you're probably not just saying, I just want to rape and pillage the rest of the world and become the king. Most people, I would say, don't want to do that. Maybe a very, very small percentage of people think like that. And we're trying to get rid of them as much as we can. So if you have wants and desires, remember this. Remember this. Your body, your mind, your thoughts, and your emotions are all tools to help you get what you want out of life. If an animal with its primitive mind and its primitive, thoughts and emotions and no technology, you have cell phones, you have electricity, you have these things to be able to get what you want. Use those things to your advantage. We didn't even talk about the tools, but our brain can access those tools. Our thoughts can get into those and create ideas through these other tools. But you come standard with so much. Don't get in your own way. Take a step back, breathe when you need to, and then from there, go out and use the tools that you were given to get what you want. Good luck, and we'll see you next time.